Yeah.
What's so funny? I didn't say anything.
It's hard. I was just getting nervous.
Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Preston, and I'm here with...
I'm Christina.
Yeah, welcome. You've been on here before.
Yes.
And this is a typical podcast. You see how easy that is? The intro's over.
We have like a whole hour left.
There's no need to be nervous.
Okay.
Okay? You feeling good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. I was just stalling because I forgot what I was going to ask you. Oh, yeah. You use your phone a lot, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the time.
Would you say right before you go to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
are you on your phone?
Yeah.
Do you knock out with your phone in your hand or anything?
No, I have like a good habit of like putting it in the charger, like putting it on like do not disturb and then
Okay.
going to sleep.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, when you wake up, is the first thing you do grab your phone?
Yeah. Why?
No, I'm just saying. It was just something I noticed. Like, I'm trying to break that habit.
Really?
Yeah.
I know. It's a good habit to try to break, especially because I think a lot of us are addicted. Like,
Yeah,
one of the
right?
things I want to do is, like, get off social media because I feel like that's the main reason why I'm
Yeah.
addicted to my phone is because I'm always checking my stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, no, because, like, I've just noticed that when I wake up and I grab my phone, I'm just laying in bed on my phone for, like,
Mhm.
an extra maybe, like, 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah.
And like one time I told myself, don't grab my phone. So I was laying there and I was like, why am I laying here? And then I got up and then I was actually doing stuff.
No,
It was a good thing to be like,
No, that is honestly
Yeah.
a good thing. Because, like, for me, like, when I wake up, if I have time in the morning, like, I want to go do some form of exercise if I can. Because, like, in the afternoon.
like jumping jacks.
No, like, running or something. Like, I need to just, like, get out
Okay.
and start doing something. So, like, what's it called? What was I saying?
You were saying you
Oh,
run.
like, in the afternoon and, like, nighttime, like, I don't like doing exercise. I feel, like, really unmotivated. I feel like I have the most energy, obviously, when I wake up. So it's one of those things like I've tried doing that where I'll like wake up and I'm like, okay, the first thing I'll do is like get ready and like go for a run or something, but
Yeah.
it never works out. Like literally never works out. The first thing I'll always grab is my phone. I'll check my stuff and I'm like, okay, after I'm done checking my stuff, I'll like go for a run or something, and then I'll end up being in bed for like literally 30 minutes, an hour and a half, like
Yeah.
to the point where I'm like, I don't really feel like going anymore.
Right. I do the same thing. Like
Yeah.
that's I don't like doing that. And then when I go to sleep with my phone, like I hate doing that too.
Yeah.
Cause like I'm like I could be falling asleep, but I'm just
On your phone.
I'm on my phone.
Yeah. There's times where like I'm about to go to sleep too and it's like already kind of late and I'm like just on my phone, like I'll be literally on like the Instagram like discovery page, like the explore page,
Yeah, just
and I'll
doing
just be going through stuff and I'm like, okay, I don't know who these people are. I'm just looking at stuff and I'm like, what's the point? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it
I
feels
already-
weird.
it
Like,
feels
why?
Weird. Like, I get to points where I'm like, why am I still awake? Like, what's the point of like being on my phone looking at this like irrelevant ass stuff when I could just be asleep? So
Well, I wouldn't be that harsh about these people.
it's just random ass
Yeah,
shit
I
on there.
Yeah, no, it is random. I almost forgot to say, Daniel's not here. Usually he's here with working the equipment and stuff and maybe chiming in with a little sentence or something, but he has class today, so rest in peace, Daniel. Christina, have you ever rode a bike?
Yeah, just not in a long time.
Okay. Do you remember have you ever fallen off a bike?
Yeah, for sure. When so it's kind of embarrassing, but I had training wheels on my bike until I was like 9,
That's fine.
which I feel like it's kind of old though for that age, or maybe I was older. I might have been even like 11 or something. It was to the point where I was like I had training wheels on my
Okay.
bike for really
If you're in
long
double
time.
digits, then yeah, it's a little.
It was
it's too
sad,
much.
yeah. It's just 'cause I was scared, and so it got to a point where I like obviously needed to learn how to ride a bike without it. So I would take them off, and like I fell. Obviously, at that point, I fell a few times.
Yeah. So I have tons of bike stories because I used to ride a bike all the time. So when I was like, I used to wear baggy pants,
Mm-hmm.
like baggy pants.
Like
Like
sweats.
no, like jeans. But
Oh,
like,
jeans, but
but
just
like
not
they were,
skinny.
yeah, they weren't
Oh,
skinny. So like
okay.
they like big circles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. Sure.
I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so I would ride a bike, and you know how bikes have the chain? That's how it's. I don't know if you know the mechanics of a bike.
The chain. Yeah.
Yeah, the chain.
You kind of need the chain.
Yeah. But so I would ride my bike, and every now and then, my pants would get caught in the chain. Like as a kid, I don't know how old I was, but like I would be riding. I would just be riding, and you know how like the bike motion, your legs go like do that.
Yeah.
So then my pants get somehow caught in the chain, and then that just sends the bike like twirling forward. Anyway, that would happen like 2 to 3 times, and that's why I don't wear baggy pants now.
That's so sad. I don't know. That just sounds painful too. Cause I've had
Cause I don't know how I got the pants out of the chain. It was just like I would have to pull.
But like, did you actually like physically fall, or would you just get to the point where you just kind of had to stop?
No, I levitated away. But yeah, no, I fell.
Oh, okay.
What?
That's sad. Did you wear helmets at that time?
Of course.
Were you like forced to?
I wasn't. Well,
probably.
It was recommended.
You were probably forced to wear a helmet.
I wasn't forced to wear a helmet. All right, I just chose to be the cool kid to wear the helmet. It's cool to follow the rules.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
But where were you going with that? What about the bike and the chain?
Oh yeah, I was just telling my own. I was just sharing a little bit of. Okay, I was scarred. That's why I don't wear baggy pants. That's a little like something about me.
I remember one time. So I used to go to Coyote Hills a lot with my parents, and like we used to go bike riding as like a whole family.
Yeah.
And I don't know why this was like a smart decision or not. So obviously Coyote Hills, like if you're not familiar, has like big old hills. Some of them are really steep and everything. And there was one point, and I'm sure like this hill, I'm sure it's like blocked off now to the point where you can't climb it or anything. But we went up there with our bikes. Like we like physically were on the bikes, and we went up this hill. Like it was really, really steep. And then all of a sudden, obviously we had to get back down. There was no other way but to obviously go back down. Sorry. Yeah. And I remember I was like terrified, and I had this was a time where I still had training wheels, obviously. So imagine being on the steep ass hill with like training wheels and this tiny little bike, and like I was terrified. So anyways, we had to go back down, and then my mom realized like this hill was way too steep for us to like actually go down without us dying somehow, because like there was like, so basically when you go down, there was like the little road, but then there was like basically like a cliff, like a drop. So if you don't, obviously if your bike doesn't make that little like that path, like you're bound to go down there. So so my dad was like, okay, like I was like crying, I was like, I'm not going down this, like I was terrified. And so I think my dad ended up going down the bike, and so he was like physically on my bike going down
with the training wheels.
With the training wheels. Yeah.
Okay.
On with the training wheels. And he goes down, and dude, he's like flying down that hill. Like, I mean, flying down that hill. And we're just all looking at him, and he's like, oh shit. Like he realizes like, oh shit, like he's about to fall over. So I think he just ends up hopping over the bike. But if I remember correctly, I think that like once he flew off the bike, I think the bike ended up going down that cliff.
Okay.
I'm sure we retrieved it, I think, but it was just one of those funny moments where like like my parents don't have the best judgment sometimes. And I just thought that whole story, like I mean it was like so long ago, I barely remember it, but
it was hilarious.
It was funny at the time.
Yeah.
But scary at the like when you look back at it, like obviously it's funny now, but at the time I was terrified.
Yeah, I was laughing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know if you noticed, but you were doing like T-Rex arms when you were telling that story. If you guys don't know what T-Rex arms, it's like your elbows at your side and you're just like twirling your hand.
Because I'm trying to have good posture. I have really bad posture, so I'm trying to like keep straight, but then I want to make sure the microphone's staying, so I'm only using one hand.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So it's like, what do you want me to do? Talk with my feet or what?
No, I don't want you to talk with your feet. You're wearing shoes. How could you even talk with feet? Can you even like... No, you can't. Anyway, I was just... Because, you could do like a hand puppet with your hand, right?
Yeah.
You can't talk with your feet.
Not really.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to really see that anyways.
Well, neither would I.
That's gross.
Yeah. You don't like feet?
No, I don't mind feet at all. It's just like...
It's okay. I'm not a big fan of feet.
In certain circumstances, I just don't want to see them.
Yeah, no.
Especially if you have ugly feet, like, I don't want to see them.
Yeah. I don't like sandals or...
Really?
Yeah. No, I don't like... I wear socks. I've said this before. Like, I wear socks all the time.
Are you the type to wear socks in the pool?
To the pool?
Yeah. People do that.
Like they walk around the pool in socks?
Like
or
they're
like
swimming in the pool with socks on.
Oh, what?
That's
no.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's literally a thing.
No, are you serious?
Yeah.
No.
You've never seen that?
I've never seen anyone swim in the pool with socks.
Really? Like back in like junior high and high school when we had to like do swimming, there was people who physically went into the pool with socks on.
A bunch of middle schoolers self-conscious about their feet or something.
Because like back then, like feet were like such a like ew, don't show me your feet type of thing. And then I feel like when we got into high
What?
school, I used to see girls like wearing sandals all the time, and I was like, oh, well, maybe feet aren't such a bad thing. Like that's
No,
to the point where I was like, oh, sandals are not bad.
I was never like feet, but like I wouldn't wear shorts too much because I was like, when middle school, I was like, I don't want to show my legs or stuff.
So you mean like when we went swimming, or you
No,
meant like,
I would wear shorts when I would go
okay,
swimming.
I was like,
yeah,
you
no,
wore
I wasn't
some
crazy.
pants, like what?
I've always wanted to jump in a swimming pool with like jeans or something like that. I feel like that would be like, what? That would be an experience.
Totally. I always like that's what I look forward to in my life.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list.
Oh my god. It's a little sad.
How is that sad?
You know, most people on their bucket list like, oh, I want to go like skydiving. I want to go swim with sharks or some shit. And you're over here like, I want to jump into a pool with all my clothes on.
Yeah, that would be. In it, yeah. It's just one thing on my bucket list. It's not like the thing to do. It's not my on the top.
It's probably on the top. It's like the number one thing I want to do is go swimming with my clothes on.
No, definitely not. But speaking of like extreme stuff and bucket list type things, have you ever done like something? What was the most? Have you ever done something like extreme, like skydiving?
No, I'm trying to think.
Would you want to go skydiving?
I do want to go skydiving.
Are you
actually.
serious?
Yeah, I really do want to. I'm scared, obviously. Like once I'm there, like, yeah.
Yeah, that would. I don't know if I would want to go skydiving.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do like skydiving. I'm trying to think of like some other extreme stuff. I feel like the one thing that's like scary, and I don't think I ever really want to, is like when people go into like those cages. When they go swimming with sharks.
With sharks?
Yeah, I don't think I ever want to do that. Like I have like a huge fear of sharks just from like, you know, watching Jaws, watching all these other like scary movies.
But you know Jaws isn't real, right?
No, I know. Oh my god, sorry. Scared the fuck out of me.
Okay, so the other camera turned off and Christina got freaked the fuck out real quick. I'm gonna fix that. Alright, yeah, but before that camera turned off, you were saying you believed in Jaws?
No, I didn't believe in Jaws, but I definitely believe that there's huge sharks like Jaws out in the ocean. I mean, I know people like.
Do you know what the biggest shark is?
Yeah, it's like Megalodon, right?
Oh my god.
I actually believe that there's at least one out there, honestly.
Okay.
Like, honest to God. I feel like a lot of people, like, when you think about it, like, only a small percentage of the ocean has been, like.
Yeah.
What's it called? Discovered.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm like, there's so much that we don't know about yet, and the ocean is huge. Like, I mean, huge. So it's like one of those things. Like, I know people don't believe in mermaids. I believe in mermaids. I just don't think that they look like what we expect them to look like very beautiful and stuff. Like, I don't think they look like that. But I honestly think that there's mermaids out there.
Okay.
Like, I know I sound crazy.
No,
but I feel like there's creatures out there that we think went extinct.
Okay.
But I don't think they went extinct. Like Megalodon, I feel like at least one is out there.
Okay.
So yeah.
Do you think fairies could be out in the ocean too? Maybe.
Fairies are like in the forest. What do you mean? No, I don't believe in fairies. But
okay. What about unicorns?
No, I don't believe in unicorns.
Leprechauns?
No, not really.
Cyclops?
No.
I'm just going through all the mystical like
beings. Like the Loch Ness monster. No, I just feel like there's certain things that obviously people have like made up, and I know that there's people like, oh well, mermaids could have been made up, but it's like, I don't know, because I'm sure mermaids kind of started with like the whole or like stories of mermaids have started with like fishermen that we used to go out. I mean, think about it. There's people who spend like months in the ocean.
Yeah,
like, I'm sure they've seen some shit.
Okay,
you know?
yeah. Okay, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm
the
just
face you're giving me. I'm like, he's like, oh god, you're crazy.
No, don't worry. You can feel safe about your opinions on like stuff that's like could or could not be out there.
Right.
I agree that the ocean is huge and that there's probably like tons of stuff we haven't discovered yet.
Yeah.
I don't know about mermaids. 'Cause in my mind, the definition of like a mermaid is a human like top where they can like talk and like stuff, and then they have like a dolphin tail.
Yeah.
That's what a mermaid is. So if it's not that, then that's not a mermaid.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what my idea of like a mermaid, I think that they still have like a human top and a like a fish bottom, like a fish tail, but I just don't think that they like face wise they don't look like what we think they look like.
Yeah, they could have like gills and stuff.
Like they have gills, they might not really have even hair. Like I don't think they have hair and stuff. So it's one of those things like they still look very similar to what my idea of a mermaid looks like, just not 100%, you know?
Yeah. I guess I could that's a more modern mermaid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like back to the original topic, like no, I don't like, that's one of the things like I could care less to do is like swimming with sharks and stuff. Like even swimming with dolphins, I feel like
It's overrated.
it's one overrated, but it's also like, I don't know, they're like trained, and you know they're kind of trained to like be, I don't know, I don't know, I'm not like a huge fan of zoos. I'm not a huge fan of like marine world and like all of those things. Like I know people have like their opinions and like, oh, like some of them are kept in like captivity for like their own good and stuff, but it's just like sometimes I'm like, I don't know, you know.
Go
like,
off, sis.
I'm like, I don't know about all that. I just feel like in general people and animals should just be free.
Yeah, speak your
know?
truth.
Shut the fuck up. I'm just saying.
No,
saying.
I know.
Like I personally don't know if like in the future if I would want to take my own kids to the zoo.
To a zoo?
Like maybe once.
I would say
times, but
the best zoo is San Diego Zoo.
is it?
Yeah, like that's like I've been there and like they treat the animals like fairly well. Like obviously they're not living in their like in like
in their normal environment. Yeah.
And you know they're enclosed, so
Right.
they're in like animal jail.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still, in terms of other zoos, I would say that's
one of the better ones.
one of the better ones.
Yeah, I've been to the zoos that I've been to, like not like they're like terrible or anything, and I get to the point where I'm like, oh my god, like they need to like free this animal. It's not like that point, but I just feel like, I don't know, you kind of have to like envision yourself as like being that animal and like how would they feel.
Yeah.
Like I put myself in their shoes, I guess, and I'm like,
In
oh
their
my God.
flippers or in their
flippers,
in
their
their
little
paws.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I just envision myself in them and I'm like, man, like it must be like boring / sad to just be in this one spot all the time, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of just think about it like that. I don't think in the sense like, oh my god, zoos are terrible. And
Yeah,
like,
they're not like whipping
they're
the
not
animals.
like whipping the animals in front of you. Exactly.
But SeaWorld sucks.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
SeaWorld, fuck SeaWorld. Did
Yeah.
they close or are they still open?
No, they're still around.
Oh my god.
Like,
I've never been. I never want to go.
I've been there like once as a kid,
Really?
and like honestly, like it just sucked. Like it sucked for the animals, but also like everything there sucks.
Really?
It's not entertaining
They
at
have
all.
like rides and stuff, or?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, I was like, were you not there? Or?
No, Is my cat okay? Why is my cat doing that? Hey Venus, you okay?
She's choking?
No, she's doing like a hairball thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've never seen
And there's a
cat.
phone call happening in the
No, literally, like both of that happened at the exact same time.
Yeah.
The phone call and your cat, and I was like, oh my god,
Yeah,
like
it's a cat phone. She'll do that every time the phone rings.
you're such a liar. No, shut up. But it was just weird how it happened at the exact same time.
Yeah.
So I was like
Wow, coincidence?
Like
Or
coincidence?
conspiracy?
What's a conspiracy? Your cat's
What's a
just-
conspiracy?
No, it's like what would the
Oh, what would
conspiracy
it be between-
Yeah.
The government is using cats as phones, so
Yeah.
every time you hear a cat like doing a hairball, there's a phone ringing somewhere. Do you believe me?
No.
Well, you shouldn't. That's good, because I made that up.
Yeah, no shit.
That was a pretty good makeup thing that I just did. I'm really good at making stuff up.
So you're good.
Improvising.
So you're a good
That's
liar.
I'm not. That's not lying.
It's not the truth.
Well, it's not. It's not lying or the truth. I'm just telling something that
Could be.
could be. Yeah.
Sure.
So let's make a word for that. What would that be? That's not lying. It's not telling the truth. So what would that be? Come on, English major.
I don't know. I'm like trying to think of the word. I'm like, your opinion.
I'm gonna Google this. It's not an opinion. I have to know. If Daniel was here, he would have.
Oh my god.
Okay. Mendacious, meaning lying or false. Oh wait, no. All right. Anyway, I give up. I tried.
Maybe there's not a word out there, and then watch someone in the comments is like, "It's this, you fucking idiots."
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Ooh, sorry.
You okay?
I just
Yeah.
burped in my mouth.
Hairball.
Yeah, hairball.
There's a phone ringing.
Somewhere.
Shit, I was about to say something. And then your little hairball. I don't. What was I gonna say, Christina? What was I gonna
Well,
say?
we were talking about like the word.
Okay, yeah. What would we got to create a word for it. We have to create a word for not lying or telling the truth. Okay?
It's hard. I honestly have like struggled making up words in my head that are like
Yeah, that's got to be.
that are not like potentially real, because the thing is you don't really know if they're real or not until you search it up. But it's also like, I don't know, because certain words that might not be like a word in English could be a word in another language and stuff. So
just
I don't
think
know.
about how crazy it is that how words came to be.
Right. I always I think about that too.
Like
sometimes.
that goes back like so long, and we finally have like the words that we have right now, and we're still missing out on some words to like describe stuff. Yeah,
that's true.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
That's miraculous. I don't know if I use that word correctly.
I don't think you did.
Yeah, anyway. Why is the phone ringing?
You don't want to answer it? Do you have like
should
telemarketers?
Wait. It says anonymous, so I don't want to get hacked.
I'm actually surprised that you still have like a phone.
Oh, like a landline?
Yeah, like a landline. Because I like my family doesn't have one anymore. Like we got rid of it back in like early 2000s.
Yeah, we never use it.
Yeah, and then that's the thing. People who I know have one, like they tell me the same thing. Like we don't use it. We don't answer. It's usually just telemarketers and stuff. I'm like,
yeah.
Then why do you guys still have it?
Last time I used it, I was like in elementary school, or like I was calling my parents and none of them were picking up. So I called the house phone, and then someone finally answered, and I was like, "Hey, I need to get picked up. You forgot me at school."
That's so sad. I know. I always just think about them like, damn, like I'm like, how do parents forget to pick up their kids? And I'm like, will I be like that parent one day?
You will for sure forget your kid once.
I'm sure, but it's just like so funny. Like it's funny. I had I had a teammate, right? And my family was close with her family, and it's funny because there was three of them. So I was close with the daughter, and there was another older daughter, and then there was a son, and they always forgot the youngest, which was the son. Like they would dead ass all get in the car and they'll be driving, and then they're like, oh shit, what happened to him? Like,
oh my God.
Is he? And they would have to go back, and I just remember that like so vividly because it happened multiple times when I was with them. So I could only imagine how many other times it happened when I wasn't with them, you know?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like if I've ever been like, was it like from a game, or like you guys were out somewhere and maybe you went to the mall or something and then you were all getting in the car? And
yeah, like it would usually
like
be
that?
like after a game, and then we would all just be chilling, and then he was usually the one like playing at the park or something.
Yeah.
So they would just let him go run off and do his thing, and then obviously like when they had to go, they would go get him. But the thing is, like they kept forgetting him all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I wasn't forgotten that much.
No, I was
more so like I would wait a long time after school.
Yeah,
because I'm sure they were like busy. I don't think it was like they were like,
oh, I don't want to go pick him up. Yeah,
like fuck that kid.
Yeah, like fuck that kid. No, yeah. Same with me. The thing is, it was just me and my sister when it came to like my mom. And it was like it was only two of us living in the house, so it's not like they can really forget about us or like pick us up. But yeah, they would take hella long to pick us up. Like that's why I was so happy when I got my license in high school, because I was like, I could finally drive myself where I need to go. I can like leave right after, like I could leave right after school. Like I don't have to wait for anybody. Like it was nice.
I think the phrase "go off, sis" is kind of funny.
It is funny.
Yeah, I like that phrase. I don't say it too much, so I'm glad I'm really utilizing it this episode.
Yeah, like 3 times now. For real.
Well, that's because you're going off, sis. That's what it is. Do you have like a phrase that you like? Or like one that you're like that you think is funny or like entertain, or one that you just think is interesting. Maybe you don't say it a lot.
I'm trying to think. I always say like I'm trying to think of like the context for me to like say this, because maybe people are gonna take it like so wrong. But I always say like like eating my ass, or like you're in my ass, or like something like that. Okay. And basically I mean like when I say like, oh, you're in my ass, like I mean like you're so like in my business right now, like I need you to like relax. Or when I'm like they're eating my ass, like, oh, like they're like super complimenting me, or like they're
okay,
you know what
so
I mean?
it's
like giving me attention or whatever the case is. So I always say like that, but I don't actually physically mean like,
yeah, obviously
this person's eating my ass. You know what I mean? Like I don't.
Yeah, you wouldn't be like getting fast food and then just randomly be like, this person's eating my ass right now.
Yeah, like it has, yeah, exactly. Yeah. You have to have like the right context for it.
Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't use that phrase too much. That's not mine.
No, and it's so funny because I forget that not everyone understands that phrase. Like only me, like my close friends, like
I wouldn't
like
say,
my mom too
yeah, it's not
understands
that
it.
common. Like
No,
I
it's
haven't.
not.
I've only heard you say it.
Yeah. No, it's not common at all. So yeah, I was saying how like I forget how people don't. Not everyone knows that phrase. Like obviously, it's only people who are close to me. Because I know other people around the world, I'm sure, use the phrase. But
Yeah.
I've seen it before, like on Twitter and stuff. But it's one of those things like I forget. And so I remember I've said it to like my coworkers a few times, like over like whatever what we were talking about, and they look at me like I'm crazy. They're just looking at me like grossed out, and I'm like, what? And then I forget like. Obviously, not everyone knows what I'm talking about. They're like, okay, like they honestly, people just think I'm weird because I'll say like these weird stuff, but in my head it makes sense.
So if you're saying weird stuff, doesn't that make you weird?
Like yeah, but I mean it's not like I feel like we've talked about this before. There's weird, and then there's like people who are awkward weird, and I don't think I'm awkward weird. I just think I'm like kind of weird.
Okay,
you know?
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
you're not awkward weird. If you were awkward weird,
I wouldn't be here right now.
You wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Should I start a TikTok?
Honestly, you should. I don't have one, but
yeah, I don't have one.
But Priscilla like has an account. She doesn't make them, but she just watches the TikToks.
She's really like.
And dude, she's addicted. Like she'll literally be on TikTok. Like that's the reason why she's probably on her phone like all the time is because she's just on TikTok and she's just going through all the videos and stuff. And she's sent me some before, like, or she's shown me some too. Dude, hella funny. So funny. Like people out there are like comedians, like no lie.
Yeah, I feel like TikToks are better than like the Instagram comedy.
Oh, no,
pages.
for sure. The Instagram comedy ones are cringy.
Dude, they're so stupid. Okay, they're so stupid. Like
they don't make any sense.
Yeah, like you want to do an Instagram comedy right now? Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm just going to do this. Now you just fall on the floor and then that's funny.
No, yeah, exactly. That's true. And I'm just like, okay. Like, and it's funny because a lot of these Instagram people who like do comedies
are like from Vine.
They're from Vine. They're old Viners. And I'm like, okay, y'all don't want to get a job or what? I'm like, I think it's time to get a job now. No, yeah, I'm just like, okay, it's time to move on. But yeah, the ones on TikTok, it tends to be like more younger people or it's not even just funny stuff. Some people have like actual like real life advice on there and like ways to help you. Okay,
I think some of the TikTok stuff can be like total bullshit.
Yeah, no, that's
like,
true.
Some of it's like super how to get rich quick and like stuff like that. Yeah. Is so it's like that's still like Instagram things.
That's
kinda.
True. Yeah.
But like I definitely like the TikToks that are like really kind of creative.
Right.
Or just like yeah.
They're just for like entertainment purposes. And so I mean I understand like that's what like these Instagram comedy things are supposed to be, but I don't know who finds it funny. There's never been a point.
They're always the same.
They're always the same, yeah. So I've never gotten to the point where I'm like looking at one and I'm like, oh my god, this is so funny, like dying. Like
I've never shared any like I don't follow any of them. Like I don't even know why it's sometimes they're recommended to me to like to look at. I'm like I don't want to see this.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like I mean, if you were to make a TikTok, would you like actually make TikToks?
I don't know. I feel like I would, but I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't do the TikToks that are like copying or not copying, but like
recreating them.
Yeah,
like
I wouldn't.
The ones that are recreated.
Yeah, the ones that are like recreated of already like kind of viral stuff.
Yeah.
I would want to try to be like creative.
Right. Yeah. But I think that's kind of hard too. It is super hard to be like creative. Because a lot of the time I just see the ones that are.
Okay. Now, when you watch the TikToks that are funny, are they like the really weird ones that are super random?
You see, yeah, I feel like they're like the ones that like other people might not find funny, but like for me personally, I think they're pretty funny.
Yeah. Because I don't like the one. I'm not a big fan of My mind just went blank. Anyway.
What? That was quick.
Yeah, that's how quick it happens. Just I'm in the
Yes, must be.
No, what was I? Oh my god. I forgot.
It's okay.
It's not.
It happens.
It's really not. I feel bad. Because I was about to tell you something, and now you'll never know. Now you're missing out. I'm sorry. It's my fault.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't think I'm missing out on much. I feel like a cat wants to go outside.
Nah, she's just... she doesn't.
She's like, I see that little patch of sunlight.
Yeah, she's just sitting there. Yeah. Anyway, enough of TikTok talk. Did
You
you
know
like
what's
how I said
weird?
that?
Sure, I guess.
Okay. What
But
were you
you know
saying?
what's actually funny? Because TikTok, like, I wonder if it's like the same company. Because okay, it first started off with
It was
Vine,
Musically.
and then it was Musically, and then it was TikTok. So
No,
like,
Musically was TikTok. It was TikTok.
so literally they just like
Yeah,
changed
they
the name.
rebranded it.
That's weird. But then I feel like TikTok ended up getting more popular than
Yeah.
Musically.
Yeah, it was smart
Isn't
because
that
a lot
weird?
of people use Musically like for a little bit,
Yeah.
or like not a little bit. People use Musically,
Mm-hmm.
so if they just rebranded it to TikTok to like where it's not just like singing and dancing,
Yeah.
it's still essentially the same. People can sing and
Yeah,
dance, but
that's true.
it's also people are like doing like vines on there.
Yeah, that's true. I just thought it was weird. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, because I wasn't sure if it was the same company or if it was like a different company. I'm like, it seems like there's like a new like brand every few months or every like once a year where they're like doing the exact same concept. There's a different name, so I
Yeah.
wasn't sure. I was like, couldn't someone sue someone else for doing that? So I didn't know that Musically was like
Yeah.
from TikTok or TikTok from Musically.
Yeah. Man, Vine, that was such an interesting time, Vine.
I know. I never really got into it when it was a thing. I would just
Yeah.
watch them here and there, but I think I probably created a few myself, but they weren't like actually like good.
Yeah,
They
because
just, like,
we
me
were in
being
like
dumb.
7th grade or 8th grade.
Yeah.
And those would have been like awkward. Like
Yeah.
imagine if you were middle school and you had a Vine and it blew up. But it wasn't like, because you know for a fact that it was one of those where people were like, look at this crazy girl.
Yeah, no.
Like,
Junior high was a time where like people were just so like stuck on trying to be cool that like if you were like cringy in any way or if you were like doing stuff that wasn't like
mainstream.
cool or mainstream,
yeah.
then like I don't know, then you
Yeah.
were just weird
Yeah.
and like nerdy, I guess. But yeah, that's true.
Damn. Yeah, I had a mission. I told myself like, because I knew Vine was shutting down, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I see that these people got successful from Vine, so I'm gonna jump at the next opportunity when there's a new app, and I haven't done it yet. I haven't jumped on TikTok, and I don't plan on like.
Getting famous off of it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about. Like nothing against like if you get popular from TikTok, but you will always be like, oh, this person came from TikTok.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but like I feel like there's less of like, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to say.
I know what you're talking about. It is kind of
Yeah.
hard to explain, but because I've noticed that too with so when there was like that dance on TikTok, I forgot what it's called or which one it is, but like basically there was like these like there was like a few girls that were doing this dance, and then they were like, oh, like you're not giving credit to like the original person who did it. Long
Yeah.
story short, people who are on TikTok are like getting
they're just they're not like the most original sometimes. Like they're just copying.
yeah,
like,
they're just
what has
copying, but
already
the thing is
happened.
they're not getting the right recognition, like the original person.
Yeah.
But then also I was gonna say, some of these people are getting like contracts with some like fashion brands, and then like they're starting to model for them, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, if is it this easy to become a model?
Yeah.
Then shit, I would have been a model like months ago or something. I was just like, are you serious? Like, I feel like anyone can become famous nowadays, but it's like
Yeah.
being famous for stuff that's like
Yeah. Because
irrelevant, you know?
I agree. Because like if for some reason I blew up on TikTok, like my fans wouldn't view me the same.
Yeah.
Like they would just see me as this type of thing.
Yeah. Right.
Like I'll see like these Instagram comedians, like I view them a certain way.
Mhm.
Like nothing against their personalities or anything, but I'm like they're just doing what they're all
What they've always
what
been
they've
doing.
always been doing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because
they
they
don't know what else to
they
do.
don't know.
And I'm just like, okay, time to grow up. It's time to start paying the bills, and yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the shitty things about our generation, though, is like a lot of people are thinking that like becoming famous and like being famous for doing something is like gonna get you success in the future, which it can, don't get me wrong, but it's one of those things like people want to do like shortcuts than like actually gaining success and like actually trying hard, and you know what I mean?
Yes, I know I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
It's like they're not challenged. Like you as a viewer, you see these people and you're like, there's something off about this success.
Yeah.
Like you see, like you don't feel that they deserve it because they
Right.
aren't trying so much.
Yeah, no,
Like there was just one boom, they're famous,
exactly.
and they haven't evolved from that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. So it's one of the shitty things. Cause then I'm just like, wow, like, cause there's people who are younger than us and they're like famous, and I'm like,
Yeah.
off of like small things like, you know, like TikTok, and I'm just like
Going on Dr. Phil.
I'm just like yeah. Exactly her, and I'm just like
I'm actually
well,
I'm
damn.
good for her actually.
I
She
mean,
she used what she had somehow, and she is where she is now. Like I
Yeah.
feel like out of anyone that went viral, she's evolving more.
True, that's true, but
We're talking about Bad Baby.
yeah, how old is she now?
I don't know.
I think she's only like 17 or something, because when
She's-
she became famous, she was like
13, 14.
was she that young?
I think so.
I thought she was like 16. I don't know. Well, actually,
No,
I guess
because
this
we
happened
were
years ago, huh?
we were in high school when.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I was like, when did this happen? It felt like this happened like 2 years ago.
Yeah, no.
But that's true. I mean, she became something now. But I mean, the way she went about it to be where she is now wasn't the best.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
she became famous for like
I agree with
being
you.
a bitch to her mom.
Yeah,
So
I agree. Yeah.
you know, like if I was a bitch to my mom, I don't think I'd be famous right now.
Yeah.
I think I might be dead. So.
And I think that people use that as an example of like this person did that and now look at them. They're like, and they're only however years old.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like anyway.
Anywho.
Let's move on from that. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Christina, what was I gonna say?
I don't know. You were like, okay, let's change the topic.
Yeah. So let's do that.
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
I figured it out. I know what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Listening. Okay? Listening. Are you listening?
Yeah,
Not everyone listens.
that's true.
It's a good skill.
It is.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on listening?
Okay, honestly, like for me personally, I have like selective hearing, like
What
honestly,
is
and
that?
I mean like
Describe that to the audience.
so well, I mean, I don't know if this is like the right definition, but for like how it works for me is like, okay, if someone's talking to me, there's like 90% of the time I am listening, but that other 10%, like I'll kind of just like
You're
like what is it, zone them out?
Yeah, you zone out.
I zone out. Literally, I just zone out. And so so that's what I mean by like selective hearing is like I'll choose what I want to listen to, and I feel like if like the conversation is dragging, then I'll just like stop listening. Like I'm still like I will like still look at them as if I'm listening, but then I'll like be thinking about something else.
I know exactly what you mean.
So it's really bad.
I know exactly what you mean. Because remember when you were telling the Coyote Heels story and like about the bike and stuff?
Oh, you hella droned out, dude. Or zoned out. Whatever. Why do I keep saying droned?
Yeah, I completely like
Yeah.
I
You're
did
just
not
like,
know.
okay.
Yeah, I was just nodding my head and agreeing with whatever you were saying.
Yeah.
I had no input at all.
No, yeah, and I know it's because some people like. Wait, what was I gonna say?
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
No, it wasn't. Why did I start off with some people?
Man, this has been an episode of like both of us being like, what were we gonna say?
I know.
Are you hungry?
Dude, can you hear it?
Yeah, I
Can
heard.
you mic to it?
Well, don't.
I'm like starving right
Yeah,
now.
her stomach was like rumbling.
Okay, I don't remember what I was gonna say, but basically, like, damn, what the fuck was I gonna say?
Christina, I don't know. See, now the roles have been reversed.
I know.
Yeah. I feel pretty good. I feel like I know things. And you know what you know? You don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know.
But yeah, I have like selective hearing. That's just what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. Like I
You choose when you're going to listen.
yeah, and I feel like if sometimes like, cause sometimes you don't really need to hear the whole part of a story to
Yeah,
know
like
what they're
the-
talking about.
Like your Coyote Hill story.
Yeah.
You started describing a lot of different things.
Yeah.
You're like, this hill.
and it was like the steep hill.
And then at
there
the
was
end
rocks.
and then at the end it was just, yeah, so my parents aren't the best at decisions.
No, yeah, I know. Because, yeah, sometimes you don't have to hear the whole story. And, like, or for me, if I could care less what you're saying, then, like, I'll pretend I'm listening. But, like, for example.
Well, that's different. Like, I do that.
Yeah, but it's just, like, I still feel bad. Like, you want to be, like, involved in whatever, like, this person's saying. But,
Do you?
no, I could care less. But, I mean,
Exactly.
like, for them, you want to, like, actually, like, look like you're listening.
Okay, so if these are like people you know, these are like friends of yours that you're like, I don't want to look like I don't care what they're saying.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna smile and just nod my
and, like,
head.
nod my head, yeah.
And just say every now and then, just be like, yeah.
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 Yeah, exactly. No, seriously.
No, I do that all the time.
Yeah,
Like-
I feel like it's normal because, I mean,
Yeah, if you're not interested, you gotta, for the person telling the story, they gotta read the room and understand that they are not catching on. I'm not catching on to the interest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever convinced someone that they did something? Have you ever convinced someone of doing something that they didn't do? So like, do you want me to give you an example?
Yeah.
Okay. So like in high school, there was like an essay due, and everyone turned in the essay, and then when I convinced my teacher like, hey, I gave you my essay,
Mm-hmm.
and then the teacher was like, no, you didn't, and I convinced him that I did give it to him, but I didn't, and so this teacher ended up giving me a grade for an essay that I did not do.
Was it a good grade?
Yeah, it was a B. That's a teacher's go-to move if they don't.
That's
if they
true.
Don't. So that was me. Like this teacher, I never gave this teacher an essay, and the teacher, I convinced him that I gave him an essay, and he gave me a grade of a B.
That's no, yeah. And so I knew what you meant, like when you asked me the question. I was just trying to think if like that has ever happened to me. I think for me, I have too much of like a conscience, and I feel like I would just be like hella guilty feeling if I was to do something.
If you
like
tried
that.
convincing,
if
someone?
I tried convincing someone that they did something that they didn't actually do.
Well, no, you did do that though.
What do you mean?
It was my birthday. You don't remember?
What are you talking about?
It was me and Brandon, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you were there, obviously.
Yeah.
And then you were telling Brandon that you gave him money, but you never gave him money.
I never said that.
Yeah, you did.
Why would I say that?
No, because you looked at me. I remember specifically. You looked at me and you're telling me, "Oh my God, I forgot to give Brandon money." And then Brandon was like, "Hey, Christina, do you have the money that you owe me?" And then you gave.
That did not happen. When did I ever owe Brandon money?
Christina, you did this.
No, you're just doing an example right now. I was like, I've never owed Brandon money in my life.
I promise you, I could have convinced you more if I didn't say owed you money. If it was something smaller.
If it was something smaller, yeah. But
Okay.
if it was like something I had said that was like.
Damn, I thought I had you for a second.
No, I was like trying to think. I was like, I really have never like had to owe Brandon money, and if I did, then I feel bad because I'm like, why wouldn't I have given him the money?
Yeah.
But
Anyway, you didn't do that.
I feel like that's, when that would work is like if this is like something that happened way in the past, like years ago, like this happened like just last year. So I feel like if it was something that happened like 3+ years ago, the likely chance for someone to remember is like very small,
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I guess that's a good point. Thank you guys for listening and watching. This has been a typical podcast. You've been here.
Yes, this is like my
third, second.
I think it's like my 4th.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
I'm just here alive.
Yeah, I thank you for coming on.
Yeah, of
I
course.
always have fun. This is a good episode.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say to people?
No.
No.
Thanks
Okay.
for watching.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed.
Thanks for watching. Yeah. It's done. Episode's over.
Okay, cool.